The Justice Department is examining some classified documents from the Obama-Biden administration discovered at a Biden think tank. The White House is acknowledging that a small number of documents marked classified were found in a locked closet in an office space at the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C. Joining us to talk about the finding of these documents is Dr. Mark Clausen, professor of history and law at Cedarville University. As always, we thank you for joining us here tonight. The White House says the office where these documents were found was used by Joe Biden after he left the vice presidency, but before he was elected president. How common is it for a vice president to have classified documents at the end of their term?
Well, it's not uncommon for a president or a vice president to have documents. The question is, what do you do with the documents once you've finished your term? How long does it take you to get rid of them? Under what circumstances do you keep them? That's been the issue all along with Donald Trump and now with Joe Biden is the circumstances surrounding it. Now, we don't know what those circumstances are exactly yet. He may have had a legitimate reason to have them. We don't know. But let me just say that the fact that they were discovered November the 2nd does create a political problem for President Biden. Because why wouldn't you release those before the election, before Election Day? That's something that may come back to haunt him. But it isn't, like I say, it isn't uncommon to have documents like that when you leave office.
Representative Mike Turner, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, is requesting the U.S. intelligence community conduct a damage assessment of the handling of those documents. Can you explain what they would be looking into?
Sure. They would be looking into the entire context for all of this. Why did he have them? What's the nature of them? That's really important to them. Are they top secret documents? Are they documents that really no one should have at any point in time? Are they documents that he had some privilege to have for a time, but now no longer has that privilege? What exactly are they? That's what they're mainly looking at. They're classifying them as they go through, or would be.
Yeah, and you had mentioned former President Trump. This obviously follows the discovery of those roughly 300 classified documents at his residence at Mar-a-Lago. So naturally, the comparison is being made. How might this complicate whether the Justice Department brings charges against Trump for his handling of documents?
It is a consideration. I think that if the Justice Department went after Trump now, after this, no matter whether it's legitimate or not, let's assume for a moment that Biden's having those documents was legitimate. But even so, if they went after Trump now, it would really look bad for the Justice Department. It would be seen as a political act, not a legal act. And that could really hurt them. And it could also, by implication, hurt the Biden administration, too.
About 20 seconds left. The House is now controlled by Republicans who have promised a widespread investigation of the Biden administration. So what could this all mean for President Biden going forward?
Well, I think the investigations, there are many investigations that they're planning. And I think one of those investigations is going to be further look at those documents, which is legitimate to do, I think. But it's going to complicate things. It's going to make the investigations have a little more teeth in them than they would have before. And people are going to pay more attention to this now.
Yeah, this is just the beginning, and we'll be following it every step of the way. Dr. Mark Clausen, professor of history and law at Cedarville University, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.